Hello and welcome back, everybody. Heir of Nuln here, and welcome back to your Imperial Gunnery School. I'll be your professor in how to destroy vampires with lead, making the undead re-dead. So here's your first lesson. Do the tier 1 upgrades. All right, I know, sounds complicated, right? But get through those tier 1 upgrades. Then we got to work our way to tier 2. So that's something that we're going to need to do here. So we haven't met all of the stuff here. We need to have at least 3 handgunners in our armies. So let's go ahead and see if we can work that out, because I have quite a few schematics that we need to put to use. So I need an army, and I need to have a handgunner in that army. I actually have a second army down here with one Boris Todbringer. And some of you might notice, Heir, this is not where you left off last time. Let me do a little bit of quick explaining. So when I did last leave off, the vampires were working their way west, and they had made their way all the way into Werkbad and into Flensburg. And what had started to happen was, so I confederated with Talabheim land. As soon as I did, Festus declared war on me because I had no defenses up there. So of course he did. Declared war whenever I'm not there to fight it. That's a very Festus thing to do. So he goes and takes that bit of territory, and then that kicks off all kinds of issues. The vampires start finishing off Averland, and all these, suddenly I was surrounded by friends and then went to surrounded by vampires. So I had to declare war on the vampires, and I ended up in a rather large battle against Vlad von Karstein, and I saved the replay from that battle because I was thinking that would be a fun way to kick off this episode, is like showing you all a nice replay. Oh, by the way, remember how I spent all our money on a steam tank? Well, I got that money back, and then I spent it on another steam tank. So we have 2 Emperor's Wrath steam tanks. No regrets. Best money I have ever spent. In any case, yeah, so that's what's been going on. So I wanted to show you the battle with Vlad, but unfortunately, it was bugged, because every time we get a new update from CA, at least when we're in this build of it, the replays are always bugged. At least it is for me. I have terrible luck with replays. Maybe it's different depending on what you do in the replay, but essentially what happened, though, is I made some upgrades to Lupio Gosser here, who is basically now a Goss cannon, I might add. And Lupio's upgrades include a couple of interesting things here. We've got this prototype field cloak, by the way, which makes him very resistant to missile and fire. But more importantly, he has a special banner that's assigned to him from the army, and that is this one right here, the Frostfire Gem. So it enables flame attacks, and allows this Frostfire, which is a weakness to fire and a slowing effect. And so that slows down units. He already has tremendous missile strength. But when he hits them with this attack, I mean, it just absolutely shreds people, because he also makes them even weaker to that attack. And so, like, the very first thing that happened in the battle was a vampire, Lure of Shadows, came forward and just got swept off of the battlefield. And then Isabella von Karstein came up, and you all know how fast Isabella von Karstein can heal. And she just got swept down as well. A little bit harder, but she did. And then Vlad came up, and we did the same thing to him. He came charging through my lines trying to kill Elspeth, because that's what the AI does. They just bull charge towards your spellcaster. And he found himself right in between the Nuln Ironsides and my handgunners, and it wasn't a good time for him. It was definitely an unpleasant moment. Which I thought was hilarious, personally. So that's what happened, just as a matter of fact. I'm going to go ahead and recruit the silver bullets. I need to have more handguns in my army. In my armies, I guess, to count towards that one. But I don't want to put more over here at the moment, because I'm also highly, dependent on this free company militia. I guess what I could do is I could get rid of a swordsman and just put the handgunner in. The problem is the handgunner can't hold the line. But let's be honest, what's going to hold the line here is going to be the Emperor's Wrath. Nothing else is really going to hold the line here. So I don't know how much of a difference it really makes. So what I could do is just, for the sake of time here, let's merge those. And let's go ahead and throw the silver bullets in this army. And let's see whether that satisfies the Nuln Artillery School here. Not quite. It actually didn't count at all. So that's weird. The Regiment of Renown didn't count there. We have to have just standard handgunners. That's a little bit frustrating, I must admit. I'm going to come in here to the recruiting. And I am already working on some global recruitment. I'm going to cancel 2 of those, and I'm going to throw a couple handguns in there because that's a necessity. So in 2 turns, we'll be able to meet the requirements for the improved Nuln Artillery School. And then as far as anything else that's going on, I'm a little bit short of money right now because I am having to try and have a semblance of 2 armies just because the vampires can field so many more stacks than me. So money is going to be short for the time being. I am trying to improve that situation, but it is what it is. We're also probably going to have some rebellions because we are busy clearing a whole lot of vampire corruption. As an upside, though, as Elspeth, we do not suffer from vampire corruption, so it makes it very easy for me to attack the vampires in their own lands. And you can see how badly we've hurt Vlad. He's already begging for peace. His strength rank was much higher than ours when we started, and he has taken a savage beatdown in the last few turns, and we are not going to stop the beatdown. We're going to continue the pressure and try and liberate Sylvania. The vampires over here represent, at least to me, one of the biggest threats possible right now. Carl, on the other hand, he has a problem. Grom took Helmsgard. So Carl is fighting a desperate battle on the north, and of course Grom and his fat paunch came rolling through the pass at a very inopportune moment. Part of me was tempted to take the piece from the vampires, albeit temporarily, and then turn around and come back and get Grom, but I need to keep the pressure on the vampires. We'll deal with saving Carl here soon enough. And I guess soon enough for Carl probably can't be soon enough for him. I'm going to go ahead and come attack the moot. I'm going to keep the pressure on. It looks like Vladdy has already recovered from his wounds. It's only been like 2 turns, but that's what happens when you fight the AI, so I'm not entirely shocked. We're going to go ahead and auto-resolve this, and we're going to take the moot and free the halflings from their vampire overlords. No longer will they be used on a sandwich, so we will free them. At level 2, we get this nice spices and wine thing here that we need to take advantage of. We also have this pasture, which is a special building here too. I think I'm going to do this as well, just to get the growth kind of ramping up. Let's go take a look at Elspeth's upgrades. Now, as far as upgrades, we did get the Carmine Dragon, and I have been doing her upgrades here, so she now has the regeneration ability and all of these others here, so except for this one. This is the only one we don't have. But I wanted to get this Magisterix of the Amethyst Order. That one will be nice, but honestly, it won't really make much of a difference until we get the Purple Sun. So there's no real reason to rush that one at the moment. This Blessed by Shaiish is going to give us lower Winds of Magic cost, and then improved reserve, which is not a bad thing. Definitely not a bad thing. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll start working on her magic skill tree.
As fate requires.
And then as for Lupio, the cannon here, the one-man cannon, I'm going to finish up piercing shots, which is making his missile strength rather absurd, and I am here for it. Absurd missile strength, as long as it's on my team, is perfectly acceptable. When it's in the hands of my enemies, it's cheap, and CA, please patch it. How about that? A very fair and just observation by me, no? All right, so, wait a minute. Why are we getting... Why is that swordsman not able to recruit? Something sieged? I don't see anything sieged. Did we lose? I don't know what happened. Maybe it was from the previous spot when the vampires did siege for us here. I don't know. There's no Electric Count's troops. We do have the access to the Sigmar Sons, which we might as well put them in there. We got the Spearmen there as well, but I'm really pushing it in terms of upkeep costs, so I'm going to have to watch it. Because right now we are very much on the edge of what we can afford to sustain. But we're going to need to keep the pressure on. Looks like the dwarves might be sallying out against Sylvania here. They're actually not at war with Sylvania, but I will gladly accept their agreements here. So let's balance that off, steal some of their money, which may result in them dying, but hey, at least I get their money for the short term, and I'm here for that.
Lady of the Azra.
Western provinces want to strike up a trade agreement, which I am amicable to. Anybody else have any business that we want to take care of? Okay, no, we're good for now. Let's go ahead and take a look at this building upgrade. It's a Krugenheim and Kempbad. Because feel like we already have these buildings here, by the way. So, like, this building is not really serving a purpose there. So I'm going to tear it down and reuse the money for something else. We need to improve that area and see if we can stabilize public order. What's the increase here? We go from 250 to 375. That's not a bad increase, but it's going to be a slow payback because the initial build of this is pretty cheap. This one's 1,575 for about 125 difference, so it's going to take about 10 turns to pay that back. So I'm not going to be in a hurry to upgrade those. Although at Averheim, again, money is needed badly right now. So as much as I would like to have growth and casualty replen, I am actually going to focus just a little bit on income here because I am in some pretty strong need of money. Though I am going to go ahead and upgrade. I did take Winter's Teeth Pass here at Fort Saul, which you all might remember the giant battles we had at Fort Saul back in the Balthasar all-gun campaign, which we are going to have to redo. I'm going to wait and see who gets that mod up and running first, and we will definitely be taking on an all-gun campaign mod, though I might need some help from someone when the time comes. At one point, and maybe I should just ask Warner, he might be able to easily remake it, but Warner made an all-gun garrison mod for me so that the garrisons would all have guns as well, which, again, was very handy. Carl wants me to join the war against Grom. I can't help him in the war against Grom at the moment, so there's really no point in me obliging him there, other than the fact that if Grom has like 7 armies, he'll probably send one over here, and then I'll have to contend with him and the vampires all at the same time. Really, the best thing that can happen for Carl is for me to finish this war against the vampires as quickly as possible. The vampires kind of fleeing north towards Nidling. I'm tempted to try and trap their army up there. They're probably going to make a run at Krugenheim because the way that the AI works is they just want to attack your unguarded settlements. Like that's really their only objective. And no matter how pointless the objective is, that's what they stick to as hard as they can stick to it. Now, let's take a look. We did get the level 2 Imperial Armory, which I am excited about. The Amethyst Armory says Tier 2 Engineering Workshop is completed, which we have. Oh, no, we have to complete this. So we need to kill 1,500 enemies with the Gunnery School units. We need to ensure that we construct the Foundry. And then we need to perform 5 Gunnery School upgrades at the current tier, which we should be well on our way to doing. The upgrades now cost 600, so we're going to need significant schematics to pull this one off. So let's see which one I want to upgrade first. I have 3 gunline units, and if I upgrade them, they're going to pick up 25% more ammunition, and they're going to get a 10% reload reduction, so furthering their missile strength increase. For the cavalry, we get the restock ability. That is pretty impressive. If you ever get towards the bottom of your ammo, being able to restock is kind of insane. Snipe and stalk for mortars would be pretty funny. Not insanely useful, but kind of funny nonetheless. And then for great cannons, a 25% missile strength increase is pretty substantial. We do have the Hellstorm rocket battery, which adds yet another projectile. So this is basically going to start turning all of our rockets into the Sunmaker and turning the Sunmaker into the double Sunmaker. And then if I do the upgrade on the steam tanks, my 2 steam tanks are going to pick up exploding ammunition. I'm not going to lie, that sounds like a lot of fun. Like a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and do that one. And then when I get a few more schematics, we'll upgrade the gunnery infantry. So let's go try out our new ammunition, shall we? I'm going to go to Fort Oberstyre, where we will test our new ammunition on the vampires. And I'm going to try and keep the pressure on the vampires. No doubt they're going to attack Krugenheim on the next turn, but we will deal with that when it comes. All right, sadly and unfortunately, it looks like the explosive tank ammo doesn't apply to the Emperor's Wrath. That's frustrating. So we'll double check that when we go back, but come to think of it, I don't remember seeing the Emperor's Wrath on the little unit cards, which it makes me wonder if that's intentional because the Emperor's Wrath is so much stronger, or if that is unintentional, a mistake by Creative Assembly. So I don't really know which is the case there. But regardless, and maybe they did get it and it just doesn't show up as a special ability. Maybe it just changes what they fire. I have no idea, honestly. Like, I'm not entirely certain. These skelly boys and zombies are getting hurt something fierce, and I am here for every last bit of it. Those bats are getting shot down in a big hurry too. All right, I've got all of my artillery targeting, and I meant to pull back my war wagons here. Oh, we're about to be charged. Let's get these less powerful units away from that incoming Warhound charge. They're going to be going after my Pistoliers and War Wagons, which they might do okay against those units. They'll do terrible against the Emperor's Wrath, and that's completely and totally fine with me. Oh my gosh, man, the AI is just getting mauled by my artillery, and I am outright here for it. I haven't even had to use the Carmine Dragon, but speaking of the Carmine Dragon, let's go have some fun. I got a bound spell, by the way, on Elspeth, so let's play with it. And let's try out the Carmine Dragon Breath, just out of curiosity, and see how much damage we can reap with it. Let you all see this up close. Oh man, that's awesome. That is amazing. I love that. That is neat. All right, well, I don't know about you, but I'd say there's a solid chance that the vampires are going to lose this battle, although it's anyone's guess at this point. Anyone's guess as to how this one will end. I am not feeling bad whatsoever about the complete war crime that battle was. All right, well, that was beautiful. And I mean, this is definitely giving me vibes back to the all-gun campaign. We picked up 74 more schematics, which puts me over 600. I think that means we can unlock another upgrade. We're going to occupy Fort Oberstyre. Like I said, we'll probably see Vlad pointlessly attack Krugenheim on the next turn, and then he'll take off running like something off of the Three Stooges, you know, like Curly, whoop, 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 like he'll go running over this direction. Trying to get away and not have to face me, because again, that's just the way that the AI does things, and like I said, color me completely unsurprised that is the case. Now, let's see, Flensburg, I believe I don't remember what we were doing. We're bad. Flensburg, okay. I'm concerned because Wertbad is definitely in harm's way. I do want the resources from there, though, so I'm going to go ahead and put some growth in there. It's a slight risk because we're probably going to lose that settlement. But in some ways, like, I'm kind of okay with it at the moment. Control and upkeep for armies in that region. Control would be important. What I really need here, though, is a corruption reduction. I don't know, though. Control might do it. We're struggling with control in basically all of our territory at this point. Now, we do have this, which would add some control and income from trade tariffs, which is certainly quite nice, but it also would slow my growth. But I suppose that may be the price we have to pay at the moment. I may need to switch some of my...
Yes, my lord.
I don't control this area. We could attack Steingart, though. I believe we have the strength to take it with old Boris Toddy here. Let's go ahead and do that. By the way, Boris joined me via the Recruit Legendary Lords, or Defeated Legendary Lords mod, which I'm still tinkering with. I enjoy it, so it's turned on. So you may have been wondering how I was able to get him. That is how. Let's see, let's go with growth here again. I want to build up this area as quickly as I can. That does help me, though. It gains some experience for Boris. Right now, he's focused on Emperor's Finest. And honestly, I mean, like any army here, I would think we want to be focused on pistol. I mean, we're going to be using guns with basically every army. Now, we might have some different flavor of gun armies here, but I mean, guns it shall be. All right, well, we don't want to do any upgrades at Krugenheim. Our schematics, we do have enough for another upgrade, and I'm going to put that upgrade onto my gunnery infantry, which is also going to, let's see, exploding ammunition. Oh my gosh, that is just gorgeous. That is gorgeous. It's going to come on there. Let's take a look at the Steam. Oh, it does apply to the Emperor's Wrath. So it is not a specific ability, exploding cannonballs. So it's not a specific ability. It must just burnt, armor piercing. Exploding ammunition. I'm assuming like it just adds explosion damage to the cannonball. I don't understand this one 100%. I may have to ask CA about it over in the
has proven
Discord
most
that they have us on.
efficient.
So I'm gonna have to ask them about that. But I
Wielder
think
of
that's what it was,
chaos
because I noticed that the guns on my tanks, the long range guns, were doing more damage to infantry than I had normally seen them do. I believe that is the case. I'm speculating, but I believe that speculation to be accurate. We shall see. I'm gonna put all of these onto the control narrative here, because we really do need to increase control of all these provinces. Instead of spending up a bunch of money there, we are still low on money, but it's just the way it's going to be at the moment, because I have to continue to push aggressively against the vampires. In fact, I'm thinking about using old Boris to push Grinzat there, which we need to keep the pressure up on the vampires. We've got to keep that pressure. Are they going to go attack? I didn't see whether they'd used their turn or not yet. They did not go attack Krugenheim, which is honestly a bit of a shocker to me, but it's good, because now that's going to put Vlad right in my crosshairs. Literally crosshairs, since we're all wielding guns at this point. Even the dragon has like a laser gun, from what I can tell. So we're going to go fight Mr. McVladdy Daddy here. He does, of course, still have a Blood Knight somehow, even though I destroyed that earlier. So he's going to get some decent troops here, but we totally have the capacity. You know what we should do, though? Well, I guess if I encircle him, it allows the opportunity for reinforcements to come. Let's just make sure we're not fighting in urban terrain here. We are, so I want no part of that. I'm going to encircle. I don't want him to be able to build towers and sit back and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to make him come out on open ground, so we're going to encircle them. There's some risk to this. Like I said, he may bring in reinforcements. Look at this. He's already got another... It's a mostly crap army, but it's still another army headed my general direction. Though our cash flow is increased, and we do need to, like, this army is not good, by the way. Not a good army. We have access to Hawkland long rifles and Nuln Ironsides now. And some people were talking about the Nuln Ironsides, and like, are they really any better than handgunners? You know, like, they're just, like, their melee is not good. Are they really better in a melee with only 60 men? Well, let's take a look at that overall picture. There's only 20 armor on handgunners. Nuln Ironsides have 60. That is a substantial survivability difference whenever you're getting charged by, say, like light cavalry, or really anything for that matter. Any non-armor piercing infantry is going to do very well against the handgunners, and it's going to do, honestly, probably fairly poorly against the Nuln Ironsides, because 60 armor is enough. I mean, that's like a Saurus warrior. It's a big enough difference that it is a difference. And then we look here at the attack stacks. 34 attack is pretty decent. I mean, that's, I think, what the swordsmen start at before these ones, of course, are upgraded. But I mean, that's not bad. Now, their defense and damage is rather poor, but they're a gun unit. They're intended to deal their damage from range, so I don't expect them to have equal melee damage. But so, are they amazing in melee? No, they're certainly not amazing in melee, but they are substantially better than a handgun unit. And the armor is the biggest piece of that. But like, even the defense there, 17 versus 26. I mean, that's a pretty substantial increase in melee defense. I mean, even compare them, for instance, to the Free Company Militia, which is a hybrid unit. And we take a look here, the melee attack on the Ironsides is better. The melee defense and weapon strength, 25 and 28 respectively, 26 and 28. So this thing is like a smaller Free Company Militia, now half the size, of course, so that is a big difference, about half the size, but the range damage is substantial. So it makes a big difference for the Ironsides. Plus, we'll notice that they have a different ability down there too. I'm going to pin this unit. And it's this Black Powder Discipline that's been added to them as one of our abilities. So that is, again, a big deal here. 40 accuracy and 10 reload skill. That is a big deal. Whoops, I'm accidentally recruiting units that I'm not intending to.
What does the Emperor bid?
I'm trying to think what I want to do with old Toddy's army. We need to continue to keep pressure on the vampires. They would have to go across the river here, which would make this a difficult crossing point for them. I can't quite reach Averheim all in the same turn.
Onwards!
I don't really have any recruiting facilities in Solland either. So not an ideal situation for me. I've been meaning to build this tower, by the way. Oh, Grom is causing issues for Carl. Carl has an army nearby, though, which he did not earlier. His army was far to the north. And I believe Carl's army... No, here's his army. So Carl is alive, and he's headed back to deal with Grom. So that's good. Let's see how he does. We may have to move to save him. This army is not good, but we just need something. We need something to stand up against vampires wherever we go. And we're just going to have to do our best with that. So Wurtbad is in rough shape. Because we need to get rid of the vampires at Nightling. I am going to go ahead and upgrade Wurtbad, though, to allow us to have more buildings. And we'll see what we can do. In fact, I can probably build like the tavern thing to help improve the control while we're in Wurtbad. So we'll see what we can do about that. I would assume Vlad, he did not attack me. So his second army went to the moot. I guess they were upset about me cutting off their supply of halflings. And the halfling sandwich, very, very popular apparently in Sylvania. They were not going to give that up easily. So we're going to, and Festus is rolling into Krugenheim. Interesting, the vampires didn't attack. Now notice that Festus just wrecked Krugenheim and went running with his soiled pants. Now of course his pants are always soiled, but he soiled them afresh. Seeing the Carmine Dragon nearby, he's like, hey, I came to raid this, unguarded town. He's like, oh crap. And then, dumps a fresh load and then turns north to run away as quickly as possible. Not really shocked, because if he sticks around here, he's in trouble. Now, Vlad should have attacked me. Huge mistake for him to not attack me, because now he's going to be suffering attrition. Averheim is going to get reinforcements, which means may be able to hold against this army. Again, not an amazing army on our part, so it's be questionable. Looks like Carl is basically back on station here against Grom, so we'll see how well he's able to fend that off. We need to continue to grow this army. We continue to lack, a lot of good troops here. It's going to be expensive, too expensive to recruit them via... Yeah, I might just stack up. I'm going to stack up a couple more spears, and then honestly, I'll just stack up some archers and stuff. We'll just kind of make a cheap crap stack. We can't sit around with Vlad. We need money, and right now it's low. I mean, I really want to kill him. I just don't really want to fight in this more urban terrain. Though I guess I can. I don't really know that there's much the vampires can do, but I'm going to have to deal with like annoying towers and stuff the whole time. I'm going to just auto-resolve that. There's really not much to see. I know you all would probably love to see me kill Vlad, but I mean, he's going to die. It's only a matter of time. We picked up a lot of schematics there as well. We picked up another armor, and we got the Hergig Jaeger Corps Hochland long rifles. Oh, yes. Yes, we did. I mean, we're already going basically all gun in this army. Why stop at this point? I'm going to get rid of this. Get rid of this swordsman. I'm just going to put more guns in this army.
Weaving weapon and magic is the surest
go for broke.
path to victory.
Go for broke. Here we are.
We are the strength of the Empire.
All right.
Yes, my lord.
There are some regiments of renown we could put into Boris's army, and I very well might. We've got to keep the pressure on the vampires. Festus is a major nuisance, and I would love nothing else than to fill Nurgle full of bullets, and preferably fire, but I am limited on the number of targets that I can focus on at the same time, unfortunately. We do have enough schematics for another upgrade, and we could do the restock on our Pistoliers, which honestly would be pretty amazing. And the Hellstorm rocket upgrade would be hilarious as well. Restock. 2 uses. I'm not running out of ammo yet. I think this will be a really fun one, but I don't know if it's the first one I'm going to put on here. I'm going to go ahead and do the Hellstorm upgrade because I don't have to run out of ammo for that one to be helpful. But I do understand the power that we're talking about from the restock ability, and I am very much interested in it, but I'm just not using it yet because we haven't run out of ammo yet. Now, that may change at some point. I'm going to go with... Even Darkness won't help much against the vampires, but Soul Blight really would if we're trying to take down Life Leeching. Honestly, would be good as well. Okay. Let's go into our one-man cannon here. We've got Bandolier, which will give him more ammo, because why would we not want more? And then Mercurial Shot is like a cool ability too. Let's get that, and then let's go with Bandolier, and then on the next one we can get extra powder. We have increased mobility that we could get there as well. All of those are useful. I'm not going to do anything there because I can't protect it. Then let's go ahead and end our turn here. We have a commandment available. I'm going to try for control here, though. It is going to be difficult to control this area. I need money bad, so I'm going to have to build a building to try and get me some more money. Again, we are in desperate need of funds. Getting a hold of Sylvania would give us a gold mine and more grapes, or sorry, wine at this point, which both of which very valuable trade goods. So not only do we want the vampires dead, there are some extremely... He came back to Krugenheim. Stay there. I dare you. I double dog dare you to stay there. Run away, you Nurgle freak. Okay, we found a changeling thing. We're gonna have to pay to destroy that. That's the click here to lose all your money mechanic that CA has in there. I'm not thrilled about that. We finished some recruiting, so of course our upkeep costs have substantially increased. I can't do anything about this vampire army other than hold them back.
Wielder of the pale
So really, at this point, we need to be going after... You just call me a moron. Look who's talking. I'm gonna go ahead. Like, I know I haven't replenished. I can't tell if we can reach this with our movement. It says 0%. I need to do more replenishment, but I also don't want the vampires to get more time to attack. I'm gonna do a quick save here because it looks like I can reach an attacked settlement, but I don't think we can because it says 0%. I don't think the quick save is necessary. I'm gonna go ahead and... In fact, I have a better idea. I was going to sit in that settlement and replenish a little bit. Why sit there in the open? Why not sit here and make Fort Oberstyre look like it is vulnerable to attack and see if we can lure this vampire army and this one potentially. And we can't do anything about Mr. McNurgle up there. Looks like Franz still deciding where he's going to go, but he's also got vampires out there too. So Franz has his work cut out for him, as is typical for a Karl Franz campaign, though I would say that that campaign got a little easier in the sense that he was handed that fort. However, clearly Franz got too distracted in the north and was caught with his pants down in the south by Grom and the Barrow Legion. Hopefully he can drive them back. What's up, Belagar? Yes, you can have military access. I'm gonna make friends with Belagar and anyone else we can. They also have guns. We like guns. All right, so Festus is just being an absolute nuisance on our northern flank here, tearing everything down. He will get what he deserves very soon. When I'm done with Sylvania, Festus will find out the true meaning of pain and suffering. And look at this, the vampires... Vlad von Karstein took over this army, and they just made a beeline over here. I'm assuming he wants to take over more territory. Not 100% sure what his angle is here, but he left the moot wide open, so I'm gonna go release the halflings again. Boris, that may get Boris a skill point too, so all the more reason to make that attack. We secured the moot land, and it did not get Boris any skill points, but it was a victory nonetheless. Unfortunately, we weren't able to catch their armies here. However, I think we can take Castle Templehof straightway. It wants to kill off one of my war wagons, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So I guess I'm going to have to fight this. It is time to battle, folks. I'm going to bash the gates down with my tanks. And I'm going to just let my rockets fire at will, as well as my mortars. I don't know if my rockets will have... They're not firing automatically, so I'm not sure what that reasoning is. Let's see. They may not have the right line of sight. I don't know. I had them on fire at will, did I not? I did. Let's take the Carmine Dragon up, do a little bit of harassment here. The gatehouse is almost open. Our Sutzen's mortar has opened fire. Now what could be handy with that restock, for instance, on our Pistoliers is restocking our our ordnance during a siege battle like this for sure. Is that a skeleton warrior or another skeleton warrior? That's the skeleton warrior where the captain is present. Let's have a little fun with these vampires, like let loose with a burning head right in the middle of town. Oh, I should have put it over there. Let's have a little fun with these guys. Let's watch the dragon laser here. They just got hit by the burning head. Here comes the dragon laser. Oh man, it is beautiful. Look at the burning head just bouncing around in there, racking up kills, bouncing off walls. That was utterly beautiful. I am going to bring the tanks up. My rockets act like they don't want to fire at this stuff, though. I would imagine they can hit these targets. Not really sure why they don't want to hit. Wonder if I put a hole in the wall, whether my snipers would be able to fire through it. I don't know. I kind of just want to take the steam tanks inside and murder someone, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't really have a whole lot of other units that want to be in a melee. It's a Black Knight back there, but I'm not terribly worried about it. Ooh, this is a nice little blob over here in the corner. They're getting hit by the Sootsen's mortar. And I'm going to bounce a burning head up in there with them, let them have a little fun. This is both cruel and unusual punishment. And you won't find me being upset about it. This mortar is brutalizing these units as well. And remember, Sootsen's mortar is no friendly fire. Not that I would be terribly worried about it on the steam tank, but oh my gosh, those steam tanks. Look at them just brutalize those skeleton warriors as they charge in. I will take the Carmine Dragon into melee at some point, but no rush. No rush. Might as well be dropping some Spirit Leech, though. Where'd the cavalrymen? I'm gonna put some Spirit Leech on those cavalry. My engineer is back here. I don't really want him in melee. Oh, I mean, I don't know if it'll really get hurt. I wish my guns could do a little bit more here, but the walls are kind of in the way. Oh, we have another burning head. Watch the fun. That bound burning head has done tremendous work here. Zombies, skeleton warriors. Let's see if we can nuke the dragon with the laser breath, or nuke the Black Knights with the laser dragon. The death laser. Since it is, or amethyst laser, I guess, but death laser, basically same thing, Lord Death. Oh no, we got caught in melee, so we weren't able to unleash the death laser there. But we shouldn't have any problem kicking these bats off of us. Pretty sure a Carmine Dragon will be more than a match for that. Woo! Those zombies. Rest in sweet pepperonis. They're getting hit by steam guns, tank cannons, great cannons, rocket fire, Sootsen's mortars. It's really an unpleasant day for them. And that is going to be the end of this, folks. So, nice job, vampires. All right, now you'll notice that despite what the auto-resolve said, there was never a moment of threat for my war wagons. So, I guess that's just like bigotry against low entity counts. So CA, please. So we're going to take over Castle Templehof, make the vampires pay a little bit, especially since they're running away from the fight off to the north, trying to settle, you know, provinces that are no longer under anybody's control. We did not gain a lot of income from Templehof. The real income, of course, is going to be at Castle Drakenhof, which I intend to take over control of as soon as possible. I really want to get a hold of Eschen as well because of the wine resource there. It looks like Carl got a bit of a beatdown, unfortunately. He was here, and I no longer see Carl on the map, which means that Carl got curb stomped by Grom. Grom has all of the Wa armies at the moment, so it will make him difficult to contend with. And honestly, I don't know how well our army would do against Grom. It does very well against what we have, but a fast-moving greenskin army is going to be a little bit different for us to take on. But with the two steam tanks, I still feel fairly confident that we would we would do well there.
Lady of Shaiish.
All right, let's go ahead and see. We can't get any upgrades. I don't really want to spend any money at the moment because I am so low on money. I can't move Toddbringer at the moment, so let's just end our turn. Where is Vladdy going to take that army? Is he going to run further into my territory and just try and get behind my lines? I mean, if he does, I'm just going to ignore him and finish off Sylvania. As much as it sucks to let him get in behind my lines, potentially undo a bunch of work I did. There's just... And again, we could take a peace agreement here and go after Grom, but I mean, we're going to be back over here soon enough. We might as well get in here. Yeah, so he is. He's choosing to just go farther behind my lines after pointless settlements to try and save his neck. I guess vampire pun intended there, saving his neck. But it's not going to do any good. Like he'll give me some temporary setback, but that's it. Like there's no long-term threat here. And now Castle Drakenhof can fall under siege, and he's got nothing over here to protect it, which is precisely the way I want to leave it. Oh, I can't quite reach. That is frustrating. I am going to move back to Aberheim and try to keep kind of a nuisance presence towards Vlad here. Plus, it'll help get rid of the vampiric corruption in Aberheim, which is only going to help me at the moment. We have a pretty good defense at Nuln. He wouldn't easily be able to take Nuln. And Vlad McDad is not going to be in a good position to have any long-term effect on us. Let's go with Soul Blight, we had mentioned. And then Boris did pick up a skill point over that turn-in, so let's go take a look at his here as well. We're going to drop that into Pistol Corps because he's got a lot of units that would benefit from Pistol Corps. I think Pistol Corps impacts archers as well. Okay. Outpost available. I am not worried about outpost. I'm not worried about damaged buildings. Let's... do I want to do a little bit of recruiting? Not yet, because I don't think I'm going to face Vlad on the next turn. Let's save some money, because I may want to like stock up on regiments renowned and try and face Vlad if there becomes an advantageous situation. His turn comes early, so I don't think he attacked me there.
Dark clouds gather.
Carl is desperate for help at this point. He's going to be begging us to join the war against Grom, and I will do so soon. But I have to finish things over here with the vampires first. Oh boy, look at that. Wurzag's forces are already up here. And that is the Great Green Prophet, though he is heretically on top of his boar instead of dancing on his own 2 feet. Another big vampire army here, so... Oh, Vlad decides to come towards us at Aberheim. That was a mistake. Mistake that I wish to make him pay for, if at all possible. We have a bunch of units we could pick up here, though it would absolutely crush our upkeep. And the vampire army that was guarding Sylvania ran. They were guarding Drakenhof, and they ran instead of defend their city. Which means I just literally picked up a gold mine out from underneath these guys.
Raise our standards here.
Brilliant strategy, like absolutely brilliant. We have to be upgraded before we can do that one. We probably want to just go with... I mean, I would love to have the extra money, and I kind of need the extra money for the next little while, but we also need growth. We could maybe get it from another settlement. We've got a lot of work to do here, but we have a potential opportunity. Vlad is coming towards Aberland. Aberland does not have a great garrison, and Vlad is a very difficult opponent. But if we go in to recruit from... We don't have Amethyst units right now either. And I'm trying to remember... We have to get the gunnery school to tier 2. But we do have all these units. Can't recruit all of them, unfortunately. I can only get 4 of the 5. But I can take this army. Unfortunately, we would have vampire attrition. I was thinking about putting an ambush stance right out here, because I really need to catch Vlad, but this is risky because we're going to take attrition here. But let's try it. Even if it just causes him to come forward and we don't get the ambush, but then we get the reinforcements from Aberheim, I think that puts me in a somewhat advantageous position, though I could be wrong. We are going very low on money, though, at the moment. We really need this quartermaster ability here, so I might start working on that. We don't suffer attrition from from vampire taint, but it still might be good in other situations. Let's get extra. Do we get extra powder? No, let's increase mobility. Then we'll go extra powder. We have an imminent rebellion. Not surprising. Let's go ahead and enter turn. We're going to have a lot of problems before things get totally better, and that's understandable. We're advancing way ahead of our ability to calm things down because that's just a necessity right now. The vampires must have seen us and backed off because we were not attacked by them. Oh, no, it wasn't their turn yet. So this army is going to attack the moot pointlessly. That's okay. The other army must have seen us and run away. So our ambush failed, and failed to the extent where Vlad realized he was going to lose the battle, and he fled. Okay, and that is exactly what happened. We just saw the results of that. So that means that he either set up his own ambush or fled outside of what I can see. We're going to continue to hold ground here. Could we defeat this army? That's a lot of Black Knights, and you keep calling me a moron, but I feel like it's going to come back to haunt you at some point. Greenskins are in our territory, but we don't want to provoke them yet. Zufbar, though, is being just downright assaulted by them. We're going to have to do that. That is unfortunate that we have to deal with that. That gold mine comes online on the next turn. We need Eschen because I need that wine supply here. We desperately need the income from these trade goods. Yep. Going to build that. So in the next turn, we'll have extra wine supply and the gold. So we should see like a pretty significant bump in our income on the next turn. Now we can get extra powder. Steingart, we can get a little bump to our income here too. We don't have much money to spend, but we have enough to spend. All right, so we should get, thinking we'll get maybe close to even 1,000 gold bump on this next turn, depending on our trade agreements, probably. Draika is not going to like us. The Greenskins that are now taking up on our southern border are not going to like us. Karl is being overrun by Grom. We have a vampire army behind our lines that needs to be dealt with. We have a lot to do. And like I said, it's going to be kind of back and forth here for a while, but the vampires are they're in a death spiral here. Like, they're not coming out of this spiral. I'm not giving a military alliance right now because a small war against you would utterly be terrible for me now. Look at this. The Beastmen attacking me, but they're going to be defeated by my garrison. Totally fine with that. Didn't really get much out of it. Was the rebellion, the law of broken axe. Okay, so yeah, Karl is in trouble. Ambusher discovered. So Vlad was trying to ambush me, and now he has joined forces. That puts us in a bit of a precarious situation here. If they double up on me in Aberheim, they could certainly defeat us. But we could probably hold them and at least give them trouble for a while. We're going to go to Waldenhof here. And we just want to kick the vampires entirely out of Sylvania at this point. We can't leave any of their settlements behind. Only have one army to help with this at the moment. Aberheim has actually got increasing vampiric corruption at the moment.
To the provinces.
We could go ahead and get the Death Jacks here. 6 turns to Steam Tank. Man, if we could get a Steam Tank, that would make a huge difference in this army. But we do not have access to a Stanley Steamer yet. A cannon would be particularly helpful here. It would punch hard and give us the ability to hit big stuff like Crypt Horrors, Vargulfs. I'm still pretty good against infantry formations as well. I think it would do us some good in an auto-resolve. We also have the grenade launchers, which mop up infantry but are tricky to use. These guys are good at sniping large targets. I mean, they can snipe any target if they have line of sight, but they'll have the best line of sight on that. We need to put something in this army to help finish filling it out. Can we get any heroes? I don't think we have access to recruit any heroes at the moment. Just witch hunters and engineers. Well, I mean, an engineer would be quite useful, actually. Upkeep cost reduction for artillery and replen rate for artillery and war machines. That actually sounds pretty good.
Engineer.
Witch hunter would not be terribly helpful to this army.
War is much like engineering.
Let's bring this
I've got a plan.
character over here, and then let's leave our garrison force there. We can now... Don't need this building. We'll tear that down anyway. Okay, we are very short of money. Let's go ahead and end our turn here. I'm just about out of time for this episode, but I feel like we have made some really good progress in ridding ourselves of a mortal enemy here in Sylvania. We're close. We're not done, but we've made excellent progress.
The dead are thick about you.
Elegar, we need you to come over here and save your kinfolk. They're getting absolutely rolled by the bloody hands. That means I'm going to have two different Was that I might have to deal with all at the same time. The bloody hands from the south and Grom from the west. Empires are going to attack me and lose here? Or, oh, this is the rebellion. I don't know how they lost, but I will accept their loss. Bone Rattlers were destroyed. Averheim is besieged. We can't leave Averheim besieged, but if we fight, we will lose. Or no, it says we will win. I don't know if I could win this if I fought it, and we will take egregious casualties. But seems like it's probably worth the victory here, because if nothing else, it slows Vlad and takes away a lot of his power. I mean, I don't think we're going to do well here if I fight this manually, because I have no good way to kill Vlad or Isabella. If it says we're going to win, I'm going to take it. I'm going to send those two armies packing. Replenishment won't do me much good, so I'm going to just steal their money, take their schematics. We're going to run another upgrade now because we have enough to do so. The vampires should be taking... Well, they won't be taking attrition because of how much vampiric corruption is here. That is unfortunate. But they won't be replenishing either. Now, that said, they might come right back for me here, and I just don't have anything to fill these ranks in on this turn. Let's go in here to the Nuln Artillery School. Let's go ahead and do the Gunnery Cavalry upgrade. Yeah, because the stock's not going to help there. The cannon upgrade's cool, but... There we go.
Such boundless skill.
Got another upgrade.
I am impressed.
We've got to quickly replenish our losses here. Oh man, our income went sky high there. That is great. I'm going to grab whatever local troops I can get, and then I'm going to start some recruitment here. We need more artillery. And then if Pistoliers now have the ability to do restock, it would be an important piece of our army. I might... Free Company Militia are pretty good against vampires here as well. Let's go ahead and maybe just start on those, and they're pretty affordable at the moment. Yeah, we got the wine resource. We have the gold resource. We can actually upgrade the wine resource. Let's do that. And then we need to hurry Elspeth. She has lost a couple of units here, unfortunately, in an auto-resolve. What did we lose? My war wagons got killed in an auto-resolve. How annoying. I didn't notice that. Why do the war wagons get picked on so bad in an auto-resolve? I guess it's because of their low entity count. That is intensely frustrating.
Graveyard. Lead to it. Amethyst Mage.
That's good. Reassuring Presence.
Magistrix.
Finish that up, Toddy, and let's do Reassuring Presence with him as well, because we have to deal with vampiric corruption. I need
Lady
units.
of Shaiish.
Can't really recruit them at the moment. I'll just go ahead and throw a couple of placeholder units in there. There's a vampire rebellion there that we can shut down on the next turn. We finished our research, which now we have extremely potent infantry, missile infantry. And let's see, blinkers, infantry, missiles, cavalry, artillery, war machines. War machines might be a next good upgrade here. Attributing courage for steam tanks. Greater channeling, reinforced armor plating, ballistic plating for steam tanks. It's even capable of deflecting direct cannon fire. That is insane. That would be amazing. What else do we might want to take care of now? Schematics gain post-battle. Now that makes a lot of sense to gain schematics faster.
Those Drathjar must envy.
All right, folks. Well, I believe that's going to be the end of this episode. We definitely have some things to finish up, but we are in pretty good shape overall. We finally got some money, which is partly because of the fact that Boris lost most of his army, but we have some money. We'll make use of that money, though we have Wurzag right here on our southern flank. It's going to be a potential problem, but let's go ahead and clean up Sylvania, and then we'll just kind of see what next steps we have to take. For the moment, Grom seems to be contained. I don't see any armies on the map for Karl, though, which is bad news, which means that Karl has basically lost everything trying to maintain. I will see you all soon. HeirofCarthage signing out.
Diligent,